to our graduation ceremony. A day that every year seems so far away and then arrives quite suddenly. Nonetheless, here it is, the culmination of all the hours of hard work, studying for tests, researching and writing papers, completing labs and projects, not to mention the practices, games, rehearsals, concerts, and performances that are part and parcel of all the extracurricular activities that make our days here at Moorestown Friends so vibrant. It has all led to this, a final, proud, happy, dry, elegant stroll around the Oval. We're here to celebrate our graduates for the journey they've completed and to wish them well on their journey yet to come. Commencement means beginning, and it's important to remember that that is what this occasion represents. Yes, at least for parents, it's natural to feel some sorrow as we acknowledge that this is the end of a significant phase in each of these young persons' lives. But it's also the start of a dynamic new sojourn that will set their course for the years ahead. And I know that for every dewy-eyed parent, there's a graduate who is eagerly anticipating the freedom and options that this transition will bring. I say to both of you, both parents and students, stop, pause for the next few minutes, and live in the moment, the now, the maintenant, and enjoy this particular segment of the present without contemplating the past or anticipating the future. I see many of you are out there with video cameras, so one day you can rewind and replay this moment in time. Our parents may want to run their mental video cameras on slow motion. Our graduates may want to turn their mental video cameras on fast forward. But let's all push the button that says play and savor what unfolds as it occurs in real time. Take delight in seeing our graduates as they are now, poised for the future. I'm confident that we are sending them off well prepared, certainly academically, but also with a strong sense of values. Those Quaker principles of simplicity, honesty, and community service that will serve both our graduates and the wider world very well in the years to come. This isn't goodbye. I look forward to seeing our graduates as alumni when they return for reunions and gatherings, and as they continue their association with the school. We've established a bond here that we want to nurture and develop throughout the years. And now let us relish this significant moment as we honor each member of the class of 1999 for the genuine accomplishment of graduating from Moorestown Friends School.
Apply your mind to instruction and your ear to words of knowledge. My child, if your heart is wise, my heart too will be glad. My soul will rejoice when your lips speak what is right. Let not your heart envy sinners, but continue in the fear of the Lord all the day. Surely there is a future, and your hope will not be cut off. Hear, my child, and be wise, and direct your mind in the way. Hearken to your father who begot you, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy truth, and do not sell it. Buy wisdom, instruction, and understanding. The father of the righteous will greatly rejoice. He who begets a wise child will be glad in him. Let your father and mother be glad. Let her who bore you rejoice. By wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. By knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. In the Quaker tradition, we'll now have a period of silent worship.
First of all, I'd like to say, Mom, you can't start crying because you're going to make me start crying. But even though you're holding the video camera, don't. Okay, I'd like to start off by paraphrasing a quote by Emily Browning. It's called No Hurry. As I stand here in front of you, I'm going to say the one thing you would never expect to come out of the mouth of a graduating senior. I am in no hurry to leave. I like it when my mom makes my dinner, the laundry mysteriously gets cleaned, and the phone bill isn't my responsibility. I've always taken comfort in my life's predictability. I've always known what school I was attending in the fall, what teachers I would have, and all the kids in my class. It really is those little things you take for granted in such a small town that you realize are part of who you are. I love the fact that I can tell you how to get around all of Moorestown without ever using street names. And on top of that, knowing that if I left my house 9 times out of 10, I would see someone who has known me my whole life. You could almost say that I'm scared to leave, but this fear is different than any I've ever experienced. It's not like being stuck in the dark when you're little, or like that time you watch Friday the 13th at 2 in the morning with your best friend. This fear is laced with the excitement you get when you're on a first date. You know it'll turn out great, but you still get nervous. I can almost feel the excitement of upcoming summer. Everyone I've talked to over the past couple weeks cannot stop talking about getting out of here and leaving for good. But I know at one point or another they will look back and miss MFS a little. The lessons of life you have learned here will take you far. I am in no hurry to leave. Then again, I'm in no hurry to stay. I am personally looking forward to living on a campus where I have the opportunity to meet new people every day. But nothing will replace our memories of MFS. Those we will take with us. A part of me will always remain in the halls of Moorestown Friends School. I am in no hurry to leave. I know where I've been, and I do not know where we are all going, but being here right now with all of you is most important. To the students of MFS, you have taught me to laugh, driven me nuts, touched my soul, taught me the meaning of love, and made me strive to be a better human being for each of you. Each one of your names is carved indelibly upon my heart, and this speech is especially for you. Now that my high school years have come to an end, I look at leaving after my 12 years here at MFS with mixed emotions. The one thing I don't have are regrets. I have made most of my time and opportunities, and I am ready to move on. I'm really fortunate to have had the athletic and academic ability to succeed at an elite institution like MFS. Fortunate to have had people around me throughout my life who have held me to high standards, both as a student and as an athlete. Together we entered as freshmen. Graduation seemed a lifetime away. Then we became sophomores and tasted a bit of the freedom that comes with being upper-lower classmen. As juniors, we relished the inevitable feeling that we would soon rule the school. And finally, as seniors, we were both scared and anxious to let go of the past, both nervous and excited about the future, both living completely in the present, yet aware of how quickly time has slipped through our hands. We had great times together, arguing over where to put the senior bench, painting the hippo, talking our way out of lates, and hanging out for senior cut day. In public, we all are eagerly awaiting graduation, but in private, many of us have often returned full circle to the panic of kindergartners who cling to their parents and plead, "Please don't make me go yet." Yet go we must in a ceremony full of pomp and circumstance, with tuxedos and dresses on the outside, and hearts fluttering with nervous anticipation and excitement on the inside. I would like to express our special gratitude to Ms. Reinhardt, who has helped us through the rough times and shuffled our college applications, to the administrators who have worked to provide a positive atmosphere, and to all the teachers who have helped to mold us over the years. Our teachers have truly inspired in us a desire for continual and ongoing learning. That, to me, is the goal of high school. Many of us have already forgotten how to graph an equation or the basic gas laws of chemistry, but if you're leaving high school with a true desire to continue learning for the sake of learning, then the school has succeeded in its mission. I would also like to pay tribute to our families, who believed in us, supported us, strengthened us as individuals. As the sun prepares to set on our high school education, and our diplomas prepared to proudly adorn the wall, I would like to thank every one of you for sharing this occasion with me, especially my classmates, those with whom I've interacted daily for 12 years or just one, and those with whom I wish I'd gotten to know better. But life is about transition. Someone whose life lacks change is inevitably stagnant and unsatisfied. We, on the other hand, are very much alive. And so the future looms ahead, and recognizing that you cannot rehearse for life, I would like to wish you all the best as you take the next step in the development of your mind, personality, and future. Now I have one more quote, this time by Rosenberg Dahl. It's called Forever Best Friends. It seems to me, as years have passed by, there is one thing we can't deny. The friends we've made will always remain, not one of us lost, but all of us gained. The joys and happiness we've shared is so very true. Promise me this, you'll remember me, and I'll remember you. But days and months and years from now, you'll all be in my heart. So I tell you, look to the future, but always remember the past. Love your family and your friends, and live like every day is your last. This graduating class will somehow always be together. In our minds and in our hearts will be remembered forever. I wish you all love, and I'll never forget that these years have gone by without one regret. This chapter in our lives is coming to an end, but all of us will truly be forever best friends. I just have one last thing to say, and that regardless of what the future holds, this is one of the greatest moments in our lives, so enjoy it. Thank you.
When I was standing today with my classmates, I began to scan the audience present today and noticed that there are people here of probably 3 or 4 generations. What amazes me are the differences between each generation. No matter how alike we think we are to our parents or grandparents, there are still differences in judgment, attitude, and perspective. Now, many attribute a great deal of this to our age, but I contend that it is more related to a generational cycle. One of the greatest things historians try to do is fit things into different periods and then find a pattern. Some historians believe that such a pattern exists and repeats itself every 4 generations. Therefore, this cycle repeats every 80 to 100 years, approximately the length of one long human life. The first stage of this cycle contains an high, upbeat generation, reforming and rebuilding in a post-crisis time. The second stage is an awakening. This is when the old values are under attack. This generation rebels against its parents' beliefs. The third generation is called an unraveling. Values begin to decay, and an air of pessimism begins to arise. The fourth and final stage is a crisis. This crisis shakes things up so much that society reforms and begins back at the first stage. Now, many of you may be skeptical of this, as I was when I first began my research. We often don't like to think of history fitting into nice, neat little packages like this. But as my studies progressed, I was amazed at the truth this holds. Many of you now may ask, so what generation is our generation? Let's begin to trace history from the last major crisis of the century. This crisis occurred in 1939, World War II. The generation following the war, the baby boomers, lived in the 1950s, a beautiful, prosperous age when crime was down, the economy was up, and everybody lived in a beautiful house with a white picket fence. Then a generation later came the hippie generation. They rebelled against their parents' perfect lives. The civil rights movement was in full swing, and their parents' old values were under attack. This leads us finally to our generation, with our surname, Generation X. We are often described as pessimistic teenagers who listen to morbid music, apathetic to the world around. We fit stage 3 perfectly. But have there been other generations like us? The answer is yes. Every 80 to 100 years, the world faces another generation like ours. Let us turn back the clock to the 1920s and 30s. This was the pre-World War II era. The world had just collapsed into a global depression, and America had recently enacted Prohibition. Again, we can turn back the clock to the 1840s. The Mexican War had just ended, immigration has just hit its stride, and the cities are becoming slums of crime and filth. Also, the entire country knows that it is on the brink of civil war. Turn back the clock one last time to the 1760s. This is a time right before the Revolution. The French and Indian War had just ended, and Great Britain is heavily taxing America. So our generation, as many of our ancestors did, lives in a time of pessimism and despair. And who could blame us? With a president constantly under fire from the public, the ongoing battle in Kosovo, and the school shootings in Colorado. We live in a time when almost every other school in the country has had a bomb threat. Who could blame us for feeling melancholy and depressed? And finally, history has shown us that a great disaster has followed each of these unraveling periods. World War II, the Civil War, and the American Revolution. Ronald Reagan once said, "This generation may be the one that will face Armageddon." We look to see what this crisis is, but who could tell? Could it be nuclear war or overpopulation? Could it be a global recession or a horrible epidemic? Who knows? But while many citizens of the world sit in silence and wait for it to come, the next Churchills are preparing. The next Roosevelts are coming up with a plan, and the next Lincolns are arranging their speeches. During every crisis man has faced, there have been people who step forward, take charge, and make sure that the human race will get through all the challenges it will face. There are exceptional people in this world who are willing to risk all that they have in order to solve such problems. These people exist in every field and profession. Now this generation must have a group of intelligent leaders to step forward and face this anticipated crisis. This generation will face any problems of the upcoming millennium with such enthusiasm and courage that we need not worry about the future. We only need to be sure and have confidence in our generation. Now I implore you to look at the class. Look at your son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter, relative, or friend who stands here today. Know that they are prepared to handle the next crisis with the utmost of care and responsibility. The class standing before you today is so diverse and strong that it will initiate changes in all different fields. Standing before you today, you will see the doctors who will find the cure for AIDS. Before you today stand the politicians who will lead the first talks for world peace. Today you look at the next scientists who will improve crop output and therefore conquer the problem of world hunger. And there are more. The people standing before you will be leaders in their fields and make a difference. Finally, know that these pioneers of society standing here today can't put into words how much they thank everyone here in the audience for helping them be prepared for any and all problems that may arise in the millennium to come. I will now leave you with a quote from John F. Kennedy's inaugural speech. "Let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans. Born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed."
graduates, parents, Mr. Craig, Mrs. Caldwell, faculty, staff, friends, and family. It is an honor for me to address this audience on behalf of the faculty here at Moorestown Friends School. I began teaching in MFS when this graduating class was in 8th grade. As a mother of two, I know how quickly the years pass. What a joy it is to see these fine young people on the threshold of life. If I could ask each parent here what they wish for their child, I know with certainty that most would desire two things: success and happiness. Perhaps some parents would be more specific: a good education, a rewarding career, a happy family life. Others might name those things that breed success: wealth, education, and good health. Each person must define success in his or her own terms. The question that I ask tonight is, does success guarantee happiness? Many of us have known people that society deems successful, yet they are far from happy. They work too hard, worry too much, spend too much time away from family, doing those things that made them successful. Then again, we know others, living in an average home, in an average town, with an average job, yet they seem supremely happy, filled with anticipation each day, eager to share their happiness and joy with others. Just a few years ago, before coming to MFS, I was this person that I formerly described. In 1989, I became a partner in a successful business. I had a large office, a nice salary, and many people depending on my expertise. On the surface, everything looked great. Underneath, I wasn't happy. I lay awake at night and worried about the bottom line. No amount of worry could change the bottom line. Instead, after much soul searching, I made a change in my life. I learned that the size of my office didn't mean much. Most of my employees who seemed so loyal were more interested in themselves. My decision to return to teaching was the best decision I ever made. Every day I feel I make a difference in people's lives. I give instead of take. I have the opportunity to love my students, and I feel their love return to me. I eagerly anticipate the work that lies ahead. I believe I have achieved more success teaching at MFS than at any other point in my life. Yes, in answer to my earlier question, happiness is the result of success, by my own definition. You must define success in your own terms. I have a few suggestions to make to help you do that. For years now, I have hung a poster in my classroom. On it are 21 suggestions for success. These suggestions were written by H. Jackson Brown, Jr., the author of Life's Little Instruction Books. Many students have read this poster over the years. A few have commented on the suggestions. If you were to ask me which ones I find most useful, I would gladly share them with you. Indeed, on this special occasion, I feel obligated to mention a few of them to the graduates. Relax, I won't talk about all 21, just 7 of them. The first suggestion: give people more than they expect and do it cheerfully. In the real world, this means working hard without complaining. In fact, it means we should be happy about working hard. More than that, being successful is the result of giving ourselves to others. Remember, success seems to be largely a matter of hanging on after others have let go. Second, become the most positive and enthusiastic person you know. Don't be the negative influence in someone's life. As Oscar Wilde said, some cause happiness wherever they go, others whenever they go. Third, be forgiving of yourself and others. Believe me, in your life, there will be many who want to hurt you, because by hurting you, they feel better about themselves. Forgive these people. I know it's difficult, but in the end, you will come out on top. Helen Keller said, "Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Fourth, treat everyone you meet like you want to be treated. This is a twist on the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I hope one of the lessons you learned at MFS is how to respect yourself and others. If you treat others with respect, they in turn respect you. If you respect yourself, you will not fall prey to the vices that can lead to unhappiness and loss of respect of those you love and who love you. Fifth, understand that happiness is not based on possessions, power, or prestige, but on relationships with people you love and respect. You will meet people who seem to own the world. Their possessions do not bring them happiness. Their relationships do. You will meet people the world deems powerful. Their power doesn't bring them happiness. Their relationships do. Work to make your relationships with your family and friends better, and you will feel like a successful person. Sixth, be bold and courageous. When you look back on your life, you'll regret the things you didn't do more than the things you did. A few years ago, a survey was taken. Older folks were asked, if they could live their life over again, which things would they change? No one answered that they would have stayed in the same rut year after year. Some wished they had tried new things. Others wished they had taken the time to watch more sunrises and sunsets. Still others wished they had eaten more ice cream. When you are older, I hope you can say confidently, I wouldn't change a thing because I lived each day with gratitude and confidence. I loved my life because I served others instead of myself. My final suggestion: don't do anything that wouldn't make your mom proud. Don't worry, class of '99. I won't tell Mom everything I know. We all make mistakes. Mistakes are only bad if you don't learn anything from them. You'll know you learned the lesson if you don't make the same mistake twice. Enough about mistakes. You all know when your mom is proud of you. In a survey taken last year, mothers were asked when they were proudest of their children. A majority answered, when their child does something well. All of you do many things well, and we are all proud of you. To all the parents here tonight, I hope you will tell your young person how proud you are of them. Tell them again and again, but set your standard high. Class of '99, accept your parents' praise, but in everything you do, earn their praise with dignity and respect. In closing, I want to leave you with the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to learn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a little better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is the meaning of success.
It is a tradition at Moorestown Friends School to recognize our originals, those students who have been here for 13 or 14 years, and to read a diploma which will be awarded to one of them. The originals are Russell Pellegrini, Natasha Mitra, Scott Hammer, Joshua Kirshner, Brooke Morris, Lauren Seaton, Nikki Andrews, and David Darlington. Moorestown Friends School. This is to certify that Lauren Seaton has fulfilled the requirements for graduation, and in recognition thereof is awarded this diploma, given at Moorestown Friends School this 12th day of June, 1999.
Todd Arthur Johnson. Jenna Elizabeth Cashmere. Andrew Robert Young. Alyssa Brooke Blumberg. Ryan J. Rutherford. Rashana Aisha Harris. Scott D. Hammer. Angela Michelle Dixon. Nicholas Raymond Caratanuto. Rachel M. Serlin. Jonathan Edward Beadle. Mara Ashley Cutler. Gilbert Andre Gehin Scott III. Rebecca Starr Shepherd. Robert Sean Cinquetti. Molly Louise Emmons. Benjamin David Jaffe. Lauren Seaton. Michael J. Dean Pride. Peter Edward Dempsey. Lauren Muzica. Mitesh S. Trivedi. Diana Lawrence Gessaking. Michael Christopher Brotsman. Anshul Jain. David B. Darlington. Amrita Singh. Matthew Justin Riggins. Adrian R. Rowan. Francis Joseph Ott III. Nikki Christina Andrews. John Vincent Campisi. Brooke Lauren Morris. Brian Michael Weaver. Imani Nia Pearson. Russell L. Pellegrini. Jesse Drew LaJeunesse. Natasha Mitra. Justin Walter Guerrera. Tracy Lauren Siegel. Todd Michael Kenneth Barge. Erica Ryan Sammartino. Eric Colonna Romano. Megan Grace Fitzgerald. Matthew J. Montgomery. Angela Marie Covington. John Monroe Kiss. Luz Dari Vizi. Patrick Charles Chase. Pallav Ashok Bavaria. Joshua B. Kirshner. Tanisha Danielle Davis. Ronald Vance Edwards II. Elizabeth M. Ritchie.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 1999. Class of 1999, join me in recognizing and expressing our gratitude to your family and to your friends.
Look at the